everyone, and welcome to another episode of our podcast. Alex, tell me something. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where after a simple hello or how are you, the conversation just died? That awkward silence that seems to last forever?
Oh, Mia, for sure. It's like, how are you is the password to a gate, and once you get through, there's nowhere else to go. It's a trap. We end up falling into a vicious cycle of predictable responses. I'm fine, thanks. And you? It's a robot dialogue. And the worst part is, we're often not even being sincere.
Exactly. And that's why today we're going to break that barrier. We'll show you how to go beyond the basics, how to turn simple conversations into truly engaging exchanges. We'll give you the tools to connect for real. But before we dive deep, if you're here with us, don't forget to like, share with that friend who is learning English, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our tips. Breaking the ice beyond how are you?
To start, let's be honest. How are you has become almost an automatic greeting. We use it without genuinely wanting to know the answer, and the answer we get is also automatic. To break this pattern, we need alternatives that invite a real conversation.
The key is to ask questions that invite a more interesting response. Instead of, how are you? You can ask something like, what's new? Or, how's your week shaping up? These are questions that open the door to a story, not just a single word.
I remember one time at a design conference in Boston, I introduced myself to a speaker I really admired. I said, "Hey, what's new? Anything exciting happening?" He looked at me surprised and started telling me about a project he was about to launch. The conversation flowed much more naturally, and I connected with him in a much deeper way.
And that's what we want for conversations to become open doors to new connections, not dead ends. These small changes in your approach can have a huge impact on your confidence.
We've overcome how are you? But now what? We don't want the conversation to die after one phrase. We want it to flourish. For that, we need to ask open-ended questions, the kind that can't be answered with a simple yes or no.
For example, instead of asking, "Did you enjoy the party?" you can ask, "What did you think of the party?" Instead of, "Is your project going well?" you can ask, "Tell me about your latest project."
This is one of my favorite strategies. I use the phrase, "What have you been up to recently?" a lot. And it's incredible how many stories people tell me. One time, I used this phrase with a friend of a friend who had just arrived from Ireland. He told me he was there to climb mountains, and instead of giving me "it was good," he told me about the thrill of reaching the top.
And that's where real talk begins. People don't remember what you asked. They remember how you made them feel. They remember that you made them feel heard and understood. Navigating different social contexts. The type of conversation you have at a party isn't the same as the one you have in a work meeting. That's why it's super important to adapt your approach.
In a work environment, for example, you can use phrases that are more focused on career, like, "How's work treating you?" or "How's your day been so far?" In a social event, you can be a little more casual, with phrases like, "Are you enjoying the event?" or "What brought you here?"
I remember one time I was at a networking event, and a person approached me and said, "Great to finally meet you. What brought you here?" I felt it was a genuine conversation, and we ended up talking for hours about our passions.
We are so used to social scripts that when someone breaks the pattern, we feel the conversation is authentic. And it's this authenticity that builds bridges and creates real connections. Deeper dives, sustaining the flow.
We already know how to start, but how do we keep the conversation flowing? How do we avoid those awkward silences after a long answer? It's like a tennis match. You have to hit the ball back.
The answer is follow-up questions. If someone tells you a story about a trip, instead of saying, "That's cool," you can ask, "That sounds fascinating. What did you learn from that experience?" Or, "How did you feel about that?" And here comes the most important part, vulnerability. It's impossible to have a deep conversation if you're not willing to share a little bit of yourself. If someone tells you about a trip, you can share a story about a trip you took, something you felt. This shows that you are present in the conversation.
It's about building a two-way street. People give you a little of themselves, and you give a little of yourself. It's the exchange of energy that makes people feel connected and understood. Confident closures and future connections. We've learned how to start, maintain, and deepen the conversation, but how do we end it without seeming rude?
We can't just leave. We have to leave a positive impression and an open door. Phrases like, "It was great chatting with you," or "I really enjoyed our conversation. Let's connect again soon," are perfect for this.
And we can go one step further and suggest a future connection. If you really enjoyed the conversation, you can say, "I'd love to continue this conversation. Maybe we can grab a coffee next week."
The goal isn't just to survive a conversation. The goal is to thrive in it. We didn't just learn to speak. We learned to connect.
So, our challenge to you is this. In your next English conversations, try one of these phrases. Challenge yourself to go beyond "how are you?" And then tell us about your experience in the comments.
And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Because here on English with Mia and Alex, we don't just teach English, we teach you to connect.